Hey guys, Big J here, back again in a creative world this time, and I'm going to be starting a new series that I'd like to call my Theory Factory, where I just kind of mess around with mods and look at different kind of setups that I think up and see people making and try to do some really cool stuff, really. So today I'm going to be talking about early game energy generation. So the whole purpose behind me even thinking about doing this episode was when I was starting my Let's Play series, which is another video that I have up here and that I'll be making more of. I've got to the point where I'm like, well, what do I want to use as my way to generate power early on? I obviously don't have access to a lot of material, and to be honest, what I really want to be making is a pulverizer, because a pulverizer allows you to put in a piece of ore and you get 2 pulverized ore for it. So you're just doubling your ore that you're mining. So, you know, I don't have to be spending hours and hours mining material to make something like big and awesome. I can just, you know, do half of it and throw it in here and be done with it. So yeah, so I really just want to make a pulverizer, a redstone furnace. Both of those are in thermal expansion, and so is the steam dynamo, and that's kind of what I've always started with, is a steam dynamo. It uses some water and you put a piece of coal in. It produces RF at 40 RF per tick, and just as a little heads up, RF stands for redstone flux. It is the measurement of power in this game for certain mods. Other mods have their own energy, but most of them are cross-compatible and use each other's energy pretty seamlessly, at least at this point. But yeah, so it produces 40 RF per tick. So in general, when I put in 1 piece of coal in this, it will use 100 millibuckets of water, and it will give me 24,000 RF, just blank RF. So that's pretty good. That's not too bad. With it running at 40 RF per tick, the pulverizer, a basic pulverizer, only needs 20 RF per tick. So, you know, you could run this and maybe, I don't know how much the furnace would need, but at least you can definitely run this and be also saving power as well. So at a full blast, but you'd be using water constantly and you'd be burning up coal constantly. Now, the next one I'm actually going to talk about is this furnace generator. Now, this is from Extra Utilities 2. Oh, and by the way, the whole purpose behind these chests here is to kind of show you guys what materials go into making this. So to make this steam dynamo, you need these different materials, which isn't bad. You know, some redstone, some copper, iron, silver. That's all you need, and it will burn coal, charcoal, that kind of stuff, logs, anything you put in there that could burn in a furnace and be used as a fuel source in a furnace should be able to be burnt in here. But yeah, so that's relatively cheap. And when we come over to the furnace generator, the materials that we need is 9 iron, 6 redstone, and then 8 wood and 8 cobblestone. So it's a little bit more material, especially on the iron side. But then again, iron is pretty common, so it's not too bad. When you put this in here, it's the same thing as a steam dynamo, but you just don't need water. You throw your coal in, your wood, whatever you want to burn, it'll burn it up and produce RF. So I put in 1 piece of coal and I got 16,000 RF. Now, that might not seem good to you. Obviously, it's not as good as what the dynamo did. But then again, you don't have to mess with, you know, maintaining water with it. You don't have to, you know, really kind of keep track of it. You just throw in some stuff to burn up, it burns it, and that's it. But another good thing about this block is that this can be made into a lot of other generators. This is the basic generator, well, almost basic. This is the 1.1 of the generators. The survival generator is the most basic, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So what you use this for is you actually upgrade it into other different furnaces, so or generators. So this one is the culinary generator, and really it's against the same pieces. So like technically you just be making one of those furnaces, and by adding some wheat and a steak or some kind of cooked meat, you can create a culinary generator. Now the cool thing about this generator is that it is based on the hunger that a food gives you. So for instance, in my test I used a garden soup, in my playthrough, I can make garden soup really easy. I'm already using that as a food source. So I figured, why not see what it gives me when I throw one in here, and it produces 38,400 RF. Now that's pretty darn good. That's better than the Steam Dynamo, and I don't have to fuss with, again, with water or having to go mine coal. All the crops that I use in this, I think it was like 3 radishes made the soup in general, and it gave me that. So it totally is self-sustaining. It's a renewable resource, all that kind of stuff. So in general, that is one of my favorite generators just in the whole game, because when you get into later games, you're going to be producing food that gives you more buffs or gives you more hunger. You're not going to be living on garden soup the whole game. Hopefully you can if you want, but especially with the Spice of Life mod that I have in this mod pack, I know I'm going to be needing to produce a lot of different types of food. So, and also get a lot out of them. When I eat one piece, it needs to give me a lot. So I think this is going to be a big contender for me producing energy in my single player series, and just for people in general, because it's really not that expensive. It really isn't that expensive. 9 iron is probably the hardest thing to get over, a block of iron. But other than that, it produces a good amount of energy. It scales as you scale. So if you're making pizzas, you're going to be, doing some crazy stuff. So let's, for example, let me just look this up here. Pizza. Let's say you just make a normal pizza from Pam's Harvest Craft. So when you hit U on your keyboard, when you mouse over something like that, and then go to the culinary generator, it'll tell you how much it's going to give you. So 84,800 RF. It takes 55 seconds to burn, and it will produce 76 RF per tick. That's pretty darn good for a pizza. Now again, it might be a little bit hard to produce. You got to make the pepperoni, the dough, the cheese, grow some tomatoes. But again, that's, I don't know. It's just my opinion, obviously, but I think the culinary generator is a great way to kind of start some early game energy without messing with, like reactors and all that kind of stuff. And then these guys are just kind of here as little thought bubbles, and I'll get back to as well as this survival generator. This is like a Frosty Generator. Again, it's produced the same way, with the furnace generator with some ice and some snow, and it basically burns snow. So you put a snowball in here, or a block of snow. We'll actually throw that in, and it does this nice cool blue effect. But a block of snow only gives you 800 RF, and a snowball gives you 200. So, you're not looking at making huge gains when it comes to using this generator. However, and this is just, again, my opinion, I think having generators around kind of like this is a good way to use resources that you'd usually just throw away. You just throw into a lava pit or put in a trash can or something. Let's say you're living in a snow biome, or you're building in a snow biome. God, every time I build in a snowy type biome, it takes forever to, dig up the snow after it gets done snowing, and then I have all these snowballs filling up my inventory, and I'm like, ugh, so I just have to throw them out, or I get a backpack that voids them. Where, what, I could have just kept them, made this Frosty Generator, and tossed them in here, and got something for them at least, It already took up my time, so I should have at least gotten some power for it. So, and this is a generator from Draconic Evolution. Obviously, I'm just not super impressed with it. This thing costs a lot to make. You need iron, obviously, a nether brick, so you got to go to the nether. And then you need this core, which has draconium, gold, and a diamond in it. And so you put in all these resources in this thing, and you're like, this thing should produce a lot of energy. Well, one piece of coal later, it's only giving us 22,400. So that is less than the Steam Dynamo, and it is just not really up to par. Like, the culinary easily blows it out of the water for a lot less expensive material. Save that diamond, save that gold. You guys don't need to make super expensive things to generate a lot of power, especially in the early game. And for that, as a pretty big comparison to this is the survivalist generator, or the survival generator. And this only uses 1 piece of iron, 2 redstone, and 13 cobble to make. And it will produce, let's see here. It produces, well, oh, sorry. I did put 2 pieces of coal in, so don't jump too quick. So this produces 80,000 RF per tick. And, oh god, no, not RF per tick. Sorry. It produces 80,000 RF at a rate of only 5 RF per tick. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if it produced 80,000 RF per tick. That is the goal at the end of the playthrough, to be producing crazy amounts of energy. So this only produces 5 RF per tick, but it just burns that coal super efficiently. It takes actually, I believe, 13 minutes and 20 seconds to burn through 1 piece of coal. But you're almost quadrupling what a steam generator or a steam dynamo would give you, or definitely what a furnace generator would. But this just doesn't keep up with a pulverizer. Again, you need 20 RF per tick to be able to run this. So to be able to run this, you would need at least 4 of these burning, and that is you only providing power to that. Whereas a steam dynamo can just do that on its own and still run another machine or 2 on it. So, but then again, you can look at it in the way of, well, why don't I just make 8 of these? Because 5 times 8 is 40 RF per tick. So, and that's only going to be 8 iron and 16 redstone and 104 cobblestone. So like 2 stacks of cobblestone, like less than 2 stacks. So that is up to you. That's totally up to you guys. Why don't you just make 8 of these and put them on your floor or something? To be honest, I might do that in my Let's Play series, because they just are so much more efficient burning stuff. But at the same time, it's nice to have just a compact steam dynamo, or a really compact, culinary generator that just pushes out power whenever I throw anything in there. So, yeah, so I just thought that this would be kind of an interesting way to start, because it kind of goes along with my other series, but also just a way to start a discussion on how you guys produce early game energy and what is your opinion on it. So either way, guys, you have a great day, and I will see you guys later.